Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. So we've got generally pretty unsettled and cooler conditions compared to what we've had recently. We see a lot more showers around quite widely, not just pop-up storms like we've had recently and organised areas of storms. We're likely just to see loads of areas of showers and even persistent bands of rain as well coming in off the Atlantic, of course being focused further northwards and westwards. As I said, the temperatures are cooler. There still could be temperatures topping the mid-20s in the south and east on isolated days, but generally for most regions it's down towards average, maybe even below average towards the high teens, low 20s. As we look at the longer range, there is the risk that low pressure gets parked near or close by, or perhaps even on top of us, creating quite stormy conditions in terms of not thunderstorms but gusty winds, strong bands of rain, and yeah, some quite wild conditions perhaps as we do head into early July. So we'll focus on that in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So you start on the live radar, you can see we've got lots of showers around at the moment. Some of these still heavy, perhaps a few isolated thundery showers, but the majority now are moderate showers. So high intensities during in the core of the showers, but really nothing too severe. Passing through quite quickly, that's because we've got an Atlantic air mass and a westerly flow. You look out to our north and east up towards Scandinavia now, you can see the cold front that swept through yesterday, and that gave us our severe thunderstorms, even reports of some supercells developing towards northeast England out into the North Sea. Haven't heard of too much disruption, as it does look likely a lot of these severe storms did move quickly out to sea. But they did occur, some interesting cloudscapes were seen, and they were severe in places. But that main cold front, where we've got very warm, humid air colliding with cool Atlantic air, is now well up towards Scandinavia, and we're in a much fresher air mass. You can see this reflected by the 2-metre temperatures as of around 2:30. Look out towards southern Eastern Europe, still temperatures high 20s, low 30s, even up towards Scandinavia. Oslo, a lot warmer than all of the British Isles at the moment, and you can see most areas are down towards the high teens, low 20s, still perhaps maybe 25 degrees or so in the south and the east, a bit of a residual warmth there, but nothing too bad. Being a westerly flow, the coolest and most unsettled conditions will always be in the north and the west, but there is the risk of cooler conditions and more unsettled conditions being more widespread as well at times. If you look at the UKV, you can see the showers over the next few hours still continuing but dying out after sunset. As we do progress into tomorrow, could see a persistent band of rain, but most of it is light to moderate. Could be a little bit of heavier orographic rain up towards the western parts of Scotland, but most regions just seeing this band of precipitation move throughout the day. Even areas further southwards where it is drier, a lot of thick cloud, and could see some patchy on and off rain in places. Into Wednesday, could see some more persistent rain moving in from the west. Again, could be heavy in places, but mostly light to moderate. And again, thick cloud, and could be some heavier rain for the early hours of Thursday spreading through there. Thursday afternoon, some more showers, and finally, as we head into Friday, another persistent band of rain. Again, mostly light to moderate, but still could be some heavier pulses. Just a really unsettled picture. And if you look at the mean sea level pressure, got lower pressure parked to north and west, 996 millibars towards the centre of that low, which is pretty deep for this time of year. And if you look at the upper air temperatures, there are some warmer air masses getting wrapped around in the low pressure, but it's generally more of a cooler pattern with oscillating warmer and colder sectors, and generally the warmer sectors won't have too much time to heat up the ground and the 2-metre temperatures all too much. So yes, could be some isolated mid-20s days, but mostly high teens to low 20s as the top temperature. If you look at the max temperature, see this afternoon, could see a 24 or 25 in the south and east, but mostly high teens, low 20s, big change to what we've had recently. Tuesday, again, high teens, low 20s, maybe even low teens for northern regions, but really nothing getting much above 22 degrees. That was some areas, that's only just above some areas' overnight temperatures in the last few weeks, so much cooler than it's been recently, and much less oppressive. Wednesday could see briefly 25 degrees or so in southern and eastern areas, slightly more humid with that warmer sector, but still nothing too severe. And then into Thursday, once again, could see low 20s or high teens. And finally, Friday here, again, high teens, low 20s, maybe only 14, 15 degrees across parts of the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland with thicker cloud and rain. So yeah, not looking amazing, not looking amazingly summery over the next week or so, but getting back towards average or even slightly below average. And some people will definitely need and appreciate the increased rainfall we will be seeing. Again, no huge deluges, I'm not expecting flooding or anything like that, or even weather warnings associated with this rainfall or this generally unsettled spell for the next 5 days at least. But rainfall is needed in places, and it may mean it's a little bit miserable at times. Now, if we do progress and have a look at the longer range and look at the GFS initially, again you can see the westerly flow coming in at the moment, low pressure parking itself out to our north and west, keeping a westerly flow all the way into the weekend and start of July. As we get out beyond the day 5 range, you can see low pressure gets closer by and parks itself over the top of us as we do head towards that day 7 to day 10 period. And with a west to northwesterly flow, it is going to push pretty chilly air in at times. Again, nothing amazingly cold, but slightly below average for the time of year, and could be chilly. There will be some warmer sectors, but continual air mass coming in from the northwest. And you look at the pressure, generally quite deep areas of low pressure just to our north. Pretty much the deepest area of low pressure on this whole chart here is near or close by to the UK, and it does mean it will be unsettled. And look at that, precipitation's pretty high through northern Europe here, and you can see where the jet stream's going from northeast Canada through southern Greenland, Iceland, down towards the UK and northern Europe. So pretty unsettled from the GFS, and potentially even a little bit stormy from the looks of some of those lows. We'll have to keep an eye on that into the mid-range. If you look at the GM, again, low pressure moving in off the Atlantic, remaining very unsettled. And again, low pressure comes and perhaps even parks itself over the top of us. Again, cooler air masses. Hot air just to our south, but UK generally in below average. So once again, cool and unsettled with low pressure parked close by. If we look at the ECMWF, once again, low pressure coming in off the Atlantic initially, not making too much of a dent, but really moving in towards that next weekend, into the start of next week. Really unsettled conditions, perhaps a little bit further away, perhaps slightly deeper than the other two runs, but the low pressure is more positioned towards Iceland. Again, it could see little low pressure systems getting wrapped up like we just saw there. You can see a small low pressure system gets wrapped up and rattles Northern Ireland, Scotland. That could even that could be quite a stormy system there with some very strong winds. You can look at that, very strong winds, strongest winds on this whole chart once again, and accumulated precipitation pretty high. More in the north and west because of the positioning of the low pressure is slightly further northwards and westwards, but further southwards and eastwards still could see periods of rain. So I have to pinpoint the exact details, but it's looking pretty unsettled, perhaps even quite stormy into the longer range, and pretty cold as well. If you look at the ensembles, you can see perhaps brief rise in upper temperatures for a day or two, Tuesday, Wednesday time, and again could see temperatures maybe 25 degrees. Beyond that, temperatures generally are more around average or actually trending below average here into early July by a good couple of degrees. So yeah, high teens, low 20s looks like the at best temperatures. Precipitation is reasonably high, and remember we are looking at London, which is of course furthest from the potential low pressure systems, so will always be slightly more settled, and yeah, continuing to look unsettled, and yeah, not particularly great. Again, the 2 meter temperatures are going to be pretty chilly, but again, nothing cold in the grand scheme of British weather. Low 20s here, maybe 20, 22 degrees or so at best, maybe 25 on some drier days with some sunshine. And if we look at the ECMWF just to compare once again, generally average to below average into early July. Yes, brief blips of warmer conditions, but a huge contrast to what these ensemble charts about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where all they were showing is well above average and bone dry conditions. Again, not ridiculous amount of precipitation in London, but considerable more amounts than we've had in the last few weeks. Sort of consistently, we have seen thunderstorms that have produced a lot of rain in places, but this is widespread showers, widespread frontal systems, so it looks like all areas will probably be getting a little bit of a soaking in the next couple of weeks. Definitely in the north and west, more on certain in the south and east, but I definitely do look likely that we will see rain. Just looking at the UKV and the positioning of the low pressures from the main operational runs. So yeah, looking pretty unsettled as we do end June and start July. We were always going to see a big change. This hot and dry weather was never going to hang around forever. But if you have enjoyed hot, dry conditions, then I hope you have enjoyed the last few weeks. Hopefully, fingers crossed for you, something hot and dry will be coming once again through through July and August. But if you have hated the hot, humid conditions, the oppressive conditions for many, then next couple of weeks is looking much fresher. Yes, more rain around, but you probably won't have much struggle sleeping in these temperatures, and yeah, probably won't have too many issues with overheating. You probably might even need to get the waterproofs back out at times as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you again for another video soon.